Hello everyone, welcome back in. Let me make sure everything is working fine, seems to be. Hello Astro, welcome in. Headed home from parents, but we'll try to lurk. Well, always appreciate the lurk. Thank you for being around here. So today I'm going to be exploring, um, like what I've been doing usually in the last few streams. I tried to stream yesterday, but unfortunately OBS was not cooperating. And in fact, I just made it work. So hopefully everything works fine. There was an update, and somehow that messed up everything on the audio side. So none of the audio was working. But today seems to be fine. So I finally tried to stream something. Although yesterday I've been barely playing. I wasn't playing much this whole week, which is one reason why you haven't seen me. Anyway, today I'm at this location. I am already in the Rea Ipoe region. I honestly don't really know how to pronounce this name, but we are still in the Norma Expanse, which is this kind of vast area. It's one of the widest region in the galaxy, honestly. Kind of close to the core, but not quite there yet. If you look from the bubble, it's pretty much towards the core. And what makes this place very special is that there are a lot of Guardian sites. In fact, all these squadron bookmarks are known Guardian sites. So I wanted to help the squadron to map some of these regions here, some of these voxels, and I was keeping an eye on the Discord chat, and it seems like this voxel series needs to be checked. So that's where I'm going to explore for the next week, 2, 3, who knows. I'll be spending some time in this region, and then probably I'll be moving again because I want to visit the inner parts of the core, these at least these two regions. Over the summer I may come back. In fact, I'm probably going back to the bubble in a few weeks because I want to do some of that Titan stuff and a few other things. But otherwise, I'll be around in this region for a while, near the core. I don't think I'll be wandering too much, too far off. Anyway, currently I'm already in the Grea Hipoe region. In fact, I have to map a few planets here. Doesn't seem to be anything special in this system, but we'll see. There may always be some new bios to check out. Who knows? I think I'm still way too far for finding any guardians, but never know. So keeping an eye out as usual. Lots of gas giants. It's like 6 or 7. I hope you all had a nice weekend, celebrating holidays or not. I personally wasn't, but it has been a rainy and gray day all day, and it looks like it's gonna be like this tomorrow as well. Honestly, a bit depressing because last week was kind of sunny and warm. It was very nice out, except that I had to spend hours and hours and hours every day working on a NASA proposal. Actually, I was writing and assembling documents for this proposal, and so I could barely step out and enjoy the nice weather. I enjoyed it a little bit yesterday, but I was hoping it would continue. Well, it's gonna be next week, I guess. It's already clearly spring here. Winter is long gone. Winter doesn't really happen here, except maybe every once in a while. It almost never goes below 0. Like 0 Celsius, it never freezes. Alright, let's see. This was a kind of a interesting system. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 actually. 8 gas giants. Wow. That's quite impressive. Like a lot of like nested orbiting pairs. Thank you for the follow, Pyri. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your nick correctly. Welcome in. Always appreciate follows. Every follow is gonna be $1 donated to charity. Oh, I just realized I didn't reset the navigation. We'll take care of that in a second. Nice to meet you. Well, likewise. Very nice to meet you as well. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good time. Alright, I need to reset navigation. For some reason, every single time I relog into the game, it resets. If anyone knows how to fix this, I would greatly appreciate. Because, you know, I have a filter to avoid dwarfs because after a while they become extremely boring. It's always icy planets and icy moons. Well, we'll see. Class G, so yeah, should be good. Hey Mojo, sorry, I completely missed your message there. Normal expense is going pretty good, honestly. Last few days I've been playing. I haven't been playing much, but there were a few interesting systems. I found my very first, um, like an almost Pandora-like planet. So it was a water world with rings orbiting a gas giant. So not quite like Pandora, like it was not an Earth-like, but almost there. And it had rings, which was really cool. I also found an Earth-like and a few other water worlds. Um, Not as lucky as a few weeks ago, but yeah, it was really cool. Let me see if I can find a picture. I took a screenshot. So this was the water world. You can kind of see the gas giant in the background, right there. Really pretty. Like I really like when rings are arranged like this. They are not continuous, like in stripes. And the actual system. Let me see if I can actually find it. There it is. It was just two moons. One of them is the water world. So kind of cool, exciting because it was my first find, like personal find. Been hunting for something like this forever, so it was really nice to finally find something like that. You had to get out of the bubble. Yeah, that kind of happened to me. When was it? Like over winter break. I was in the bubble for a bit too long. At some point, I was like, I, I really needed to get out and explore again. I was hitching for some exploration.
System discovery complete. First body to map is A1.
Ooh, that's a cool one. This one is one of those lava worlds. Star is extremely bright. This was probably like Earth in the very beginning of the solar system. Like first few million years, it probably looked like this. Vast, oceans of magma. Next time I go back to the bubble, I need to get some more of these, like, pre-engineered DSS modules, because I've only got 2 or 3 and this ship doesn't have one.
Mapping complete. No more bodies to map.
Just so good, so cool. You can kind of see the, you know, this is fairly well done. Oops. It's like almost like granulated. This is pretty much what vast lava flows look like. You know, it's partially cooling down and solidifying. Oh, look, that's a pretty cool one. Like inside an impact. This is very realistic. Like we can see stuff like this on other planets like Mercury, Mars, the Moon. Here you have an impact crater which is filled by a lava flow. So there was a lava flow kind of breaching in and then filling the impact crater. So cool. Oh, wow, look at that. There's like, I guess, a volcano, maybe? Like an ancient volcano rising up, so the lava flow kind of surrounds it, right? And here is, I guess, a pole or something, and the rendering hasn't completed yet. You know what? Since this is somehow a science stream, let me see if I can find a good example. I'll have to dig. Oh, wait. I know of something. Let me open this software right here, which is actually free, so anyone can use it. Hey cow, how are you? You didn't. Oh, well, you weren't missing anything. You were missing absolutely nothing. I'm not in open. No, when I explore, I'm almost never in open. Also, right here, I'm probably fine. I'm in open sometimes when I'm in the bubbles, though. So here is a software called JMars. You can download it for free. It's based on public data, so everything is free. And this is something that we use regularly, you know, in the science world. You don't have to ask your trademark question. Yeah. People know you. Come on. Sometimes it's a little bit slow at loading and rendering, so you have to be patient when using this. Anyway, this is Mars. This is the topography of Mars. Olympus Mons, big Tarsis volcanoes, northern lowlands, Hellas, right there. But I know that there's an impact crater, I think it's this one, which is filled with ancient lava flows. Maybe not even so ancient, like a few tens of million years ago, which is recent in geologic time. I think it was that one. No, maybe not. I'm now unsure if it was this one or this one. Well, we'll check them. We'll check them. I know it's called Flagra, so maybe I can turn on nomenclature. Maybe. Oh. Is it spelled? Let's see. Mars Flagra crater. Nope. Flagra? Flagra. 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 Oh, it's off. It was this one. Let me see if I can show you some imagery instead of elevation. This is off. This point should be here. So what you're looking at right now is infrared imagery, so not visible, but infrared, acquired during the day. So essentially, white stuff is hot, cold stuff is cold. Sorry, dark stuff is cold. So it's essentially due to illumination of the sun. So essentially you're seeing topography, but there's a few exceptions here and there. And so this is an ancient impact crater. In fact, I should probably zoom out a little bit and let it render. So ancient impact right here. You can't really see much of the impact left. You can barely see the rim and a few other things around it. But imagine there is a crater bowl underneath this region, and what you're looking at right here, these margins are lava flows, which I think came from the south in this case. We're kind of close to the equator. The latitude is, well, actually 30 north, so like southern US, Mexico, or for northern Africa, kind of southern Asia, those latitudes, but on Mars, of course. And so there were lava flows flowing into this crater, which kind of reminded me of that other crater that we just saw in Elite. So this happens in real life. There are impact craters that were once filled with lava, and if you're curious, there's the Kilauea volcano that often has a kind of a lava pool inside. So let me see if I can find it again. Yeah, right there. I think it was right here. See this? This is probably like an ancient crater. Like something like this, but filled with lava. The nice one was, I think, beyond the horizon right now. So next time you see something like this, then you know that it happens in real life. It's not just a fantasy of the game or something like that. It's actually real, quite real. I always giggle when people wish they could fly our ships down those lava planets we would melt. Probably. I mean, it depends. It depends what material the ship is made of and what is the actual temperature on the surface, but I'm gonna guess it's high. Like, lava on Earth can easily exceed 1000 Celsius. So not enough to melt steel, but to weaken it for sure. Melt a lot of other metals like aluminum, possibly magnesium as well. Oh, I guess I was pointing towards the planet. I thought the next destination was behind the planet the whole time. Magnesium, something like that. I just saw your message. Probably. Yeah. 1500K. It's hot. It's quite warm. So about the melting temperature of steel, or iron I should say, maybe. It's right there. Yeah, I never convert to Fahrenheit, sorry. My brain still works in Celsius. I can barely understand how Fahrenheit works. I know when it gets to 80s, like 70s, 80s, it's nice. Above 80 starts to be hot. Below 60 starts to be cold. That's how much I know about Fahrenheit. In my house, the thermostat is in Celsius. Because, I don't know, I grew up with Celsius, and it's just in my mind. I can't get it outside my brain. I try to use Fahrenheit, but it just doesn't work with me. Oh, is that the temperature for melting steel? 1223 or iron, I guess.
Argon atmospheric landable with life.
Oh yes, because it's right. I forgot for a second that Kelvin and Celsius are not really identical, at least at those temperature ranges. When you start to go into the few thousands, then it doesn't matter that much anymore. Yeah, I forgot to subtract 273. So it could almost melt steel. So if the ship is made of steel, then all good. Getting spam calls. I haven't got spam calls in a while now. But sometimes I get like 2-3 weeks with, 2-3 calls a day, so hopefully that is not the case. This was clearly a spam call because it was flagged.
Body 3. Oblate body. Icy ring.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit squishy. Still need to find a terrestrial, like rocky oblate body. Or at least notice it. I probably found some before, but I guess I didn't notice until now.
Body 2D.
Interesting.
Ammonia atmospheric landable with life. May host a marked biological.
Let's see what we have. Oh yeah, big time. QD, this guy. Oh, interesting. Twitch is telling me that my streamerversary is coming up in 2 weeks. For some reason I thought it was in May, like late May, but I guess I got affiliate in April. Because last year I was traveling in, yeah, from mid-April, so that kind of makes sense, I guess. Well, in 2 weeks, I should be back in 2 weeks. Need to think. Maybe not, actually. Damn it. Because I'll be traveling starting Tuesday, and I won't be back until the 13th, I think. No, wait, I think I can be back. I think I'll be back just the day before. So, well, if I get the chance, I'll be streaming. We got a party? Well, we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm not even 100% sure I can stream because I'm gonna be not at home.
May host a marked biological and has high biological.
24 hours? Probably not. Very unlikely. But maybe a long one, like 6-8 hours. Maybe I can do it. If it is on a Sunday, I think I can arrange it. Let's see, bacterium, cactoid, osseous. Ooh. Well, guess we'll go here. Or maybe there, actually. Some more diversity. Yeah. This one looks good. Yeah, let me see, because, well, I need a calendar. Because I'm going back to Texas to take advantage of the eclipse. My girlfriend lives in Austin, Texas, and the path of totality goes right through the city, so I'm just gonna be watching from my backyard. I'm coming back. On the 13th, which is a Saturday, I think. It is a Saturday, so Sunday 14th, if that is the actual streamversary, whatever, then I guess I'll be streaming. And you know what? That could be a good opportunity to do that giveaway that I've been talking about and promising for a few months now. I just have to look at some shipping rates because I'm not sure about shipping rates outside of the US in case someone wins and they are outside of the US. If it's not too expensive, then I can do it. Otherwise, I'll have to restrict it to the US or Canada, Mexico, whatever. Oh, this is a new one. Cactoida pepperatus. I don't think I've ever seen this one. It's like a... Well, it kind of looks like one of those succulent plants, but let's look it up. Close range. Yeah, I have these two maps of the moon that I got a while ago, and don't really have any more space inside my house. Well, maybe somewhere, but... So I'm gonna give away at least one of them, but probably both.
First partial sample collected.
So yeah, it kind of looks like one of those succulent plants. I am pretty sure I saw something like this in the desert. And I need to check. I may even have a map of Mars, like a geologic map of Mars. But I have to check in my office. I may have gifted that to someone else.
You've traveled over 300 meters from the previous sample.
Yeah. Oops. Damn this terrain. There we go.
Second partial sample collected.
Now this cactoide is not very valuable, but since this is the first time I see something like this, I'm sampling it anyway.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 300 meters from previous
Now
sample.
this is a bacterium. I've seen this countless times, so I don't care about sampling. I'm not gonna comment on this.
Sample collection.
From this angle, it looks like something else. Alright, I need to find a Furtexa, an Osseous, and a Tussock. Tussock should be easy here in the plains, but I haven't seen it yet. Furtexa may be a little bit painful because it's the Flamazes, which, if I remember correctly, it's the kind of thin looking one, so it renders only when you get very close to it. Osseous should also occur here, so I guess it's just a matter of spotting it. Okay, just rocks. Alright, switching places a little bit. There it is. Flamazes. I remember the first time I was trying to find this species was like such a pain because I didn't know what to look for. And I was flying a little bit too high, so it wasn't rendering. And I was like going back and forth along some mountains, and I think I was actually streaming. It was one of my first few streams, I think, like almost a year ago or something like that. And I just couldn't see it. And then I think someone suggested, hey, I seem to remember it's kind of small, so you may need to be near the ground to actually spot it. Yeah, because especially if it is kind of oriented this way, it's like almost invisible from the ship.
Second partial sample collected.
It's also kind of pretty.
distance reached. You've traveled over 150
Oh, this is the
meters
tussock.
from previous sample.
It's good.
Sample collection complete.
I wish we could get more of those kind of bonsai plants that you can put here on the cockpit, because I know you can get some of the like the brain tree and a few other things, but like the anemone, I think maybe. I wish, but I wish we could get more of those. Ah, and there's the osseous. You're hoping for some new things for exploration. I do too, but I have absolutely no expectations. Honestly, personally, I would be really surprised if they can even keep their promises of, you know, getting 4 ships this year. Like, I would be happy even with just 1 ship, honestly. But yeah, if we can get something new, that would be nice. Like, if we could get more, for example, geology, that would be cool. Like scanning outcrops, or even just scanning the meteorites. There are already outcrops and meteorites sometimes, but they can only be, you know, you can only shoot at them to get materials, right? It would be cool if we could actually sample them and like composition scan them, just like we do with exobiology, right? I'm sure it's like very complicated on their end to program something like that, but I mean, it's something that is already in game, so you don't need to, you know, come up with something completely new that you need to design from scratch. I mean, it's something that we already have. And same thing with, you know, the geysers, the lava spouts, the gaseous fumaroles, all that kind of stuff. It's already there. And there's even materials like Odyssey, ground materials like mantle samples, fossils, what else? Rock samples. There's a few materials that already exist. So it would be, I think, really cool if we could get those ground materials from, let's say, a rocky outcrop. On Earth, we have a few exposures of like upper mantle materials. I don't have a sample with me here right now, but in Italy, I have something. Adorable Sean, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How are you? What were you streaming? For anyone new here to my stream, I'm Dr. Nozimo. You pronounce it whatever way you want. There is no correct or wrong pronunciation. I'm in real life a planetary scientist who likes to play Elite Dangerous because it's an awesome game. Um, Let me give you a shout out. Uh, 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 there we go. Welcome in. Oh, you were playing Elite Dangerous. Like that. Welcome in, everyone. What were you doing? Were you exploring, shooting, something else? Collecting mats? Uh, so many no-name siphon decks. Welcome in. And Anonymous, welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. So good to see all of you. Mining. Oh, right. All right. We were actually talking just right now about something like mining. I'm currently exploring here in the Greaipue. I don't know how to pronounce this region. Right here. So it's like a little bit more than halfway towards the core, you know, starting from, oh, maybe just halfway to the core, kind of near these guardian sites right here. Yes, I am a planetary geologist in real life. In fact, we were chatting about craters filled with lava until like I don't know, 30 minutes ago, something like that. Thank you so much for all the follows. Melter of Snowflakes, that's a great nickname. Just Mainer, welcome in. El Mundo de Hades, Old Gamer, Beanbags, MacBean. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for all the follows. Yeah, so we were just chatting about how cool it would be, at least for me, to have the possibility when exploring, or really any time you are on a planetary surface, to collect geologic samples, right? Just Chibs, well, thank you so much for all these follows. So, you know, just like we sample and scan plants and other organisms, it would be, I think, really cool to be able to scan, well, in part we can already, but sample geologic materials, right? So sample a gas from a geyser, or sample some rock from a lava spout, even lava from a lava spout. I think that would be really cool, you know, kind of leveraging something that already exists in game, but being actually able to do some science with it, right? And maybe have it count towards exploration somehow. I don't know. You know, give us more incentives to actually visit some geysers besides jumping on them, I guess.
Guardian ruin body. Body 4.
I want that PNG for my FSSing, but I can't find it or install it. You mean this? Like this overlay? This overlay is from what is it? EDHM? Can't never remember. Yeah, EDHM UI. EDHM UI. So let me show you. Actually, it's very easy to get it. Great idea. Oh wait, EDHM is getting in the way of chat here. No, I don't want to update because you made weird things. Great idea. We can do with those rocks in planetary rings. Right? Exactly, something like that. So in EDHM, you go to menu, the mods plugins, and then there's FSS overlay. Now I can't remember if I had to import it somehow or install it, but I never remember ever importing these things. So I think it was there, and I chose this one. But there's a few different options. Keep in mind, I actually modified that particular one because I made these lines a little bit darker, the vertical lines, because they were a bit too bright and interfering with the scanning. But otherwise, it was, I think it was already there. I honestly don't remember installing it, but I'm sure that if you look up, if it's not already there, if you do EDHM UI FSS overlay, you'll find it immediately. So shouldn't be too hard to find. There we go.
System discovery complete. First body to map is 2.
Oh, that's a neat bug or inside wonder doing jump dropped me 2000 kilo light seconds from anything. Uh-oh. That's not cool. Alright, a few different things to sample here. Although, did I miss something? No, I scanned everything, okay. So, I need to visit, well, number 2 for sure. And then number 5. Here we go. Yeah, so anyway, this is something we were kind of chatting about, hoping for the future. It would be nice to get something new for exploration, but no expectations. I'm enjoying it the way it is right now. If we can get something new, great. If not, oh well. I'll keep enjoying it. I'm honestly already happy that we are getting new ships. I mean, I haven't been playing this game for long, like just over a year, but I love how excited everyone is about new ships. Let's see if we can do this just 3. Then at some point in a few minutes I have hats incoming. I've been trying to skip them for a while, but the manager here told me that there's pre-rolls on right now, so I guess we'll take a little bit of an AD break, so you don't have to sit through them. New ships are awesome sauce, yeah. No, I was really excited when they announced that, and honestly, even if we just get one, I would be more than happy. The new Python looks amazing. That is a really cool looking ship. I honestly love it already. I don't care if it turns out to be kind of a bummer for, you know, specs or mounts or whatever. I don't care. It just looks good, so I'm gonna get it one way or another. How long is the war expected to keep going? I have no clue. You're asking perhaps the worst person here. Because I've been barely doing some Thargoid combat for a little while, like a month or so, but I'm very far from knowing much about the Thargoid War. My understanding is that it's something that is gonna end soon. Um, Essentially, as soon as the Titans go down, then that's gonna be it. That is my understanding, at least. Then I have no idea if they are gonna keep, something coming in every once in a while. That I have no idea. Or some Titans then become resistant and they can't be shut down. I don't know. Personally, I would like something to, you know, to keep going, just for, for all those new players who never had the chance to see anything like that before. Think about something that someone that buys the game right now has never played Elite, has never seen Elite before. It would be nice if they can enjoy some Thargoid combat. You know, some minor battles here and there. Let's be safe with this one. There we go. You wouldn't mind the Type 9 prepare for exploration? To do like long distance mining? I mean, any ship can be an exploration ship. You just have to accept the fact that sometimes you may not have a long jump range. Alright, no Tectonicas here, so I guess we'll skip this one. There was Thargoid combat before the war, yes, that is true. But I mean, keep a few Spire sites active, keep a Titan active, keep, I don't know, a little bit of a taste of what was the war, besides the sites where you can get some Thargoid combat. I think it would be nice, but just personal opinion, really. Anyway, I have ads incoming. I can't postpone them anymore, so we're gonna take like 3-4 minutes break. You don't have to sit through the ads or look at them. I'm gonna take a break myself because I need some snacks. So, see you in a few minutes. Alrighty, everyone should be back from ads. There we go. I'm still snacking a little bit because today I barely had a lunch and no breakfast. So I was starting to be a little bit hungry. Alright, system is done. Feel like I missed a few chat messages. You have an explorer. Oh, I guess an exploration cutter. Oh yeah, exploration cutters are a thing. I've seen a few of them. I guess it's you know, slightly shorter jump range than the Anaconda, but not a bad exploration ship. I have absolutely nothing against it. One of your 21 cutters? Wow, that's a lot of cutters. I think I barely have something like 21 ships in total. Although I must say, I mostly explore, so I have 7 exploration ships, but and the rest are just things I use sometimes when necessary.
Potential Guardian ruin body. Body A7.
Wait, I didn't really look at this. Okay.
Meets mapping criteria.
I can stop any time I want. I don't have a problem, honestly. I mean that there's no shame in having many ships. Like if you like the cutter, enjoy it. I'm personally almost exactly the opposite. I don't like to have duplicates, so I only have one ship of each type. And I know some ships can cover many different roles. I don't care. I have one ship of each type, no more. It's just a personal thing. It may something that may change in the future, but not anytime soon, I think. There we go.
Discovery complete. First body to map is A6.
A6, A7, and A7 actually could also have Tectonicus. So, A6. Core mining in a T10. Well, the cutter can be an excellent miner. In fact, yeah, my only cutter is a mining ship. You're flying a T9, El Mundo. 44.6 light years. If those are light years, well, that's pretty good for the Type 9. I mean, I guess if you make a light build, yeah, you can get a decent jump range. Although I must say, jump range is really overrated for exploration. Once you get far away enough from the bubble, I mean, unless you really want to travel fast, for exploration it doesn't matter. As long as you have, like, I think the bare minimum is 30 something light years to get to, like, Beagle Point. I think the shortest required jump is like Exp03-24 light years. As long as you can hit that, you can explore almost everywhere. I mean, the more distant stars, then maybe a problem, but
Mapping complete.
otherwise you can go
Next
everywhere.
body to map is A7.
You don't need a very large jump range to do exploration. Like this ship has 51, 52 is honestly more than enough. Python is life. I love the Python. In fact, that's why I'm so excited for a new one. Because then I can have two Pythons that are not identical.
Romulan warbird decloaking directly ahead.
Oh man, Stargoid! Welcome in! Stargoid with a raid. Welcome in, how are you? How was your stream? I saw you were on earlier on, but then I had to start streaming, so I couldn't follow so much. How was your stream? Welcome in, welcome in. We were talking about ships and having too many or not enough of them. Let me keep up with chat because I'm honestly getting lost here. Sorry if I missed any comments. Eon has 3 mining cutters. Yeah, I have one. That is sufficient for me. Well, welcome in everyone. Thank you so much for the raid. In fact, let me see, did it have to shut out? I don't think so. I may have not set it up yet. No, then let me shut out first thing. There you go. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. For all of those who are new to my stream, I'm Dr. Nozimo, you pronounce it whatever way you want. There is no correct or wrong pronunciation, kind of long story. And I'm a planetary scientist in real life who enjoys playing a lot of Elite. I also sometimes stream science and a few other things, but usually it's Elite, because I find that Elite has a lot of science into it, and there's a lot we can learn from. So thank you so much for all the follows. Eldari and Abiotic Square, love that nickname. Trinity Brook also, thank you so much. Really appreciate. Right now, for each new follow, I'm actually donating $1 to the charity, which is Khan Academy. Khan Academy makes education more accessible. I work in academia. I've been teaching in the past, and I truly believe in accessible education. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for something like that. So I want everyone to have the opportunity to have the access to the education they require. If you remember correctly, NASA praised this game for realism. I mean, yes, they literally had astrophysicists in the development team, like Dr. K, like the K's heart and soul nebulas are dedicated to Dr. K, who was in the development team for many years. You know, writing this game so that it actually follows, you know, real science, what we really know about the Milky Way and stars and planets. You know, there's a few things that are maybe somewhat questionable, but otherwise it's a really good game for science, which is actually how I got into it, because um, because I remember seeing it multiple times on like some scientific Twitter post many years ago, and then I kept seeing this game mentioned. So at some point I was like, I need to check it out and enjoy it. Thank you for the lurks, Torgoid. I really appreciate all the lurks. Can is good. Oh yeah, like we actually had in chat a few times someone talking about their experience with Khan Academy, and I was really happy to hear that, because you know, one thing is to trying to look up what they do. Another thing is actually hear from the people who benefited from an association. You got Elite when Epic gave it away back in 2020. Yeah, that you know, sometime every once in a while there's these heavy discounts on the game. The next one that comes by, I may take advantage of it and get a second account. Currently I only have this account, but I may get the second one. Alright, that's my Tectonicus, which I actually didn't really need to scan, but oh well, doesn't hurt. You got into Elite in 2016, but heard about it when it released. Yeah, like I've been hearing about this game for many years. Honestly, I can't remember when was the first time, but it was no less than 3-4 years ago, easily, because when I first got the game, I remember it was a few years back when I first heard it. So I got it in November 2022, which means that it was almost certainly pre-pandemic when I heard about it. And it was again some scientist talking about it. And then I kept hearing about it because I was following Scott Manley, because at the time I was really into Kerbal Space Program. In fact, I haven't been playing that game in forever. I need to correct that. And he was playing Elite for a while, so I kept seeing the game mentioned there. And then I got the game when someone was talking about some exoplanet and how Elite was generating exoplanets. And I was like, well, I need to check it out. And I've been playing it since then. The Cobra is easily your favorite exobiology ship. It's a very nice one. Not sure if it is my favorite, but it's for sure one of my favorites. It's very nice because it has decent jump range. In fact, as I was saying, more than sufficient. And it has a small footprint, so it can land pretty much everywhere.
Second partial sample collected.
Another small ship I have is the DBX. The problem is that I don't really like the DBX. There's something to it that is just not for me. But otherwise, that's another very good exploration ship.
Minimum distance reached. You've traveled over 500 meters from previous sample.
But again, I have 7 in total, so I have a Sidewinder, which was my first one. Cobra was actually my second ship. And then I have an Eagle, a Courier, Great Phantom, Anaconda, I guess another one, maybe, that I'm forgetting.
Sample collection complete.
Yeah. The DBX is low, handles like a brick, and much larger than it looks. I tend to agree. That's probably why I don't like it. I honestly also don't like it for the shape. It looks like a grasshopper. It looks like an insect. I really don't like it. It's just the aesthetics of it are like, no. Not my thing. I'm sure there's people out there who really enjoy, but I'm sorry, I don't. What would you guys say is an okay jump range for deep space exploration? Again, it depends on how quickly you want to get someplace. I tend to agree with FJK on 35-40. If you want to get somewhere faster, then you may want something closer to 50 or 60. Not many ships that can go to 60 and above. It's like 4 or 5, really, I think. Another good ship for exploration that has a small footprint is the Dolphin. I don't have one. Well, I have a Dolphin, but not for exploration. But I know several commanders who use it that way. It's a very good one.
42. Icy ring.
Also, decent jump range. Like I think you can get to 60 if you tune it the right way, or close to it
42.
at least.
Icy ring.
Let me see, because I think I'm I'm missing messages here. The physics background side of this is really good to know. Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. And I mean, even from a planetary science like geology perspective, which is what I know more of, it's actually really good. Like an hour ago, I noticed for the first time that one of those lava planets actually had an impact crater filled with lava, which is the first time I see something like that in this game, and it's something that happens in real life. I was showing an example from Mars, but there's examples on Mercury, the Moon. I think there might be even some examples here on Earth, like ancient impact craters that are now almost completely eroded, but they were infilled with lava flows. So it's like, even geologically, it's a really good game. Let me catch up with my chat. You just fly whatever you feel like at the time. Yeah, that's the other take. Like, honestly, don't follow too much what people tell you to do. I mean, it's good to have suggestions, but at some point, just do whatever you like. This is the nice thing about this game, is like you can do pretty much whatever you want, and still enjoy it. Like if you want to explore in a mining T9, you can. You won't have a good time traveling to places, but you can do that. Let me see. Most of the long-range explorers are 65 plus. Yeah. My Phantom is like 70, Anaconda is like 75. But yeah, you don't really need it. unless you really want to go someplace particular, where you really need to go. You know those distant stars that don't have any other stars in between. That's pretty much it. Actually, I need to check if I missed anything. Nope. All right, good to go. It's good to have 3 or so types of exploration ships. Yeah, the other thing is like it also depends how you're doing exploration, if it is just the one ship or if you're using a fleet carrier for support, because that can also help a lot. And if you have a fleet carrier, then something you can do is have like, you know, a small, a medium, and a large ship, and then you keep, you know, your favorite exploration ships or whatever, and then you just do, you know, every day you use a different ship if you want. This is actually what I do. I just picked up the Cobra, but usually you'll see me in a Great Phantom or an Eagle or the Courier, something like that. just depending what, you know, what I would like to fly in a particular day.
Meets mapping criteria.
I'm having a really hard time following the chat here, so sorry again if I'm missing some messages. Yeah, I agree with Rosa. It's just there's so many options that you just need to try out. And honestly, even if a build won't work for you, there's a good chance you can tune it afterwards for some other purpose. Like currently, for example, I have a dolphin that I use for errands in the bubble, you know, just moving quick inside the bubble, and sometimes do high grade emissions for materials. But now I'm considering using a different ship for that and turning the Dolphin into an exploration ship. So it already has a range, it already has, you know, thrusters that I like, you know, it's already light, so it's good for exploration. I just need to change a few modules here and there, and it's good. So it's fairly easy to change between builds. Let me see. Some people use their fleet carrier as a bubble bus. Yep. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. It was actually 2020 hindsight who got me into the fleet carrier, because until then I was like, I don't really need one. But then I saw him, and he kept like saying, yeah, you should really try, you should really get a fleet carrier. I was like, all right, let's try it. I didn't go back. Honestly, it's really nice to have a means to, you know, when you start to accumulate a lot of data and, you know, you feel like a little bit more scared of losing it, you know, you crash into a planet, you do something wrong, you know, it's just nice to have a fleet carrier nearby where you can dump everything without having to go to a DSSA or something like that, which is another option. But to each their own. I know commanders who just like exploring on the one ship and do it that way. There's there's definitely, you know, the thrill of exploration and danger of being alone out there in the black. All right, this one, number 2.
Mapping complete.
Let me see.
Next body to map is 2.
Um, yeah, what Mojo says, like, about not having all the modules you need. That's another good point. There's only a few ships where you can mount all the modules you want and still have a good jump range, and or even just the space to mount all the modules. Like, small ships usually tend to be a little bit starved in module space. I guess the Dolphin is a good exception to that, because I think you can fit pretty much everything you want in a Dolphin. But otherwise, that's the reason why I chose the Great Phantom at first as my exploration ship, because I wanted the range, but I also wanted all the modules. So like repair, research, AFMU, all that kind of stuff. So I would be safe traveling, not really have to worry about light crashes or anything like that, because then I can just repair. Of course, you need to keep in mind to have a few materials to restock your limpets and that kind of stuff when you're out in the black, but it's just iron and... let's see, iron and nickel? Can't remember. I seem to remember it's iron and nickel to synthesize limpets. Iron and nickel, 10 and 10. So it's some of the easiest materials to find. So even if you don't have them at some point, as long as you have a means to scoop them up somehow, you should be good. Never bothered with research limpet FJK. I've used them every once in a while. I think this ship has them. Can't remember. Yep, it has them. I mean, it's mostly just for fun to get these samples. I know that there's a few who collect them, like to collect a sample for each of those space organisms that they find. Oh man, you were using a large screen projector. That's cool, like as your main screen. That is such a cool idea. And after traveling a long journey, Colonia to Seoul, when you arrived at Seoul, the colors and wavelength of the sunlight felt like real home. That is such a cool idea. I never thought about playing this game on a projector. Now, I don't really have access to one, well, kind of. I have one of those... I have access, it's not really mine. One of those small portable projectors. The problem is that it's low resolution. That is such a cool idea to use a projector. Wow. And I can totally understand. I mean, there's not that many stars that have exactly the same temperature as the sun. So technically speaking, they emit the same wavelength as the sun, the same peak wavelength, that kind of white yellowish light. Um, that is just a really cool concept. Um, you have a 75 4K TV? Oh, lucky you. I don't. My girlfriend has a larger screen TV, but it's not very easy for me. Oh, I guess I can hook up my laptop to it because I use actually using a laptop. I don't have a desktop system to play Elite. I only have a laptop. I guess I can try to hook up a laptop to the TV. Not sure how that is gonna look like. I can try though. That's a good idea. In Gutamaya ships not being your thing, I can see that. I myself don't like some of their lines. It depends on the ship though. Like for example, the Beluga is like, yeah, I don't really like it. I have one for large pad passenger rescues in Thargoid systems. But yeah, I don't really like the lines too much. So I can't agree on that one. However, I like other ships, like the Courier. The Courier is just lovely. Except maybe the low visibility from the cockpit. It's like visibility is not great there. But otherwise, it's now one of my favorite exploration ships.
Meets mapping criteria. Body A8.
Especially because it's fast.
Meets mapping criteria.
And I like to go fast. You haven't really seen it lately, but every once in a while I have a... In the title, I put that I'm going to do Italian space driving, because that's pretty much what I like to do usually. It's just driving recklessly but in space or on planets, and the Courier is very good for that. Alright, I was getting confused here. What am I looking at? Like, is it a planet or what? Or a moon? There's asteroids though. I hear them crackling in the background. You know, another really cool thing about this game that I was reading a few weeks ago is that there is a commander out there who...
Body B1.
Oh, that's in Horizon Bio.
Horizon's bio present.
And so about the game, I started playing the game with a friend who was blind. So the friend um, started listening to the game, and after a while he could determine what kind of body it was based on the sound, because you know the FSS makes different sounds depending on the body type, you know, rocky, high metal content, etc. And so now the
Body A7.
these two guys basically play together,
Landable with life.
and the
May host a marked biological.
and the and
System
and,
discovered.
and enjoy more the, you know, the sound, the acoustic aspect of this game, which is something I never thought of. But after then, I started to notice a little bit more about the different sounds that the planets make. Let's see, A7, A8, A9, and B1. Well, that's an interesting arrangement. Don't really see this every day. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, they are. The sounds are complex enough and distinct enough that they can be used that way, which I really started to like after reading that. It's something, you know, that you don't necessarily notice, but after you do, it's something really cool to think about. FDev put a lot of detail in the audio. There's so much hidden in there most folks never notice. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking. The even, you know, sometimes I even just turn on the in-game music instead of having separate music, because even just the regular in-game music is amazing. I love it. I can remember the first few weeks in this game, the first time I got out in the black to explore, I was like, man, this is amazing. I love it. It's just, I don't know, it's just the right atmosphere with the visuals, the audio, you know, just jumping from planet to planet or system to system.
Next body to map is
It's
a
just really well done.
body
I
A7.
really like it.
May host a marked biological.
Okay. Wait, this was... Oops. Nope. I actually need to land here. Right. Rosa, you are absolutely right. Or even the sounds of beacons. You know, even when you're not scanning a beacon, like on ground or in space, it makes a sound, and it's I really like that. And in fact, I think some of the beacons, like the navigation beacon in space, if I remember correctly, they have Morse code. and I think someone read the Morse code, and it actually says something. I seem to remember it's not gibberish, although I never tried myself. Or maybe I'm confusing it with a community goal. It might have been a community goal, actually. Well, something to try next time I do. Oh. In fact, a good motivation to learn Morse code, which I've tried to do a few times already in the past, and in fact, I could kind of read it properly, like listen to it. The problem is that it's like a new language. You need to practice continuously. If you don't do that, then you're gonna lose it. No, it's the wrong one. All right. Yeah. Yeah, what you say about just listening to the sounds of the system. And it's one take. In fact, when I was reading about, you know, uh, this this blind guy listening to the FSS, I think his friend then bought an account for him so they could travel together, like in telepresence. And I think the blind friend was doing the FSS that way. Not entirely sure. I kind of forgot where I read that. It might have been on Reddit, or an FDev forum, I think. One of the two. Nav beacons actually spell the system name Morse code. Okay, then that's what I was reading. I read that a long time ago, like probably like a year ago or something like that. The Morse code of one of the Thargoids somewhere pings our ship scanning Morse. Oh, that's really cool. You heard it in some dusty station somewhere refueling. Yeah, there's also the sounds of, the beacons. I'm not sure if that is the correct term, like the data access point, maybe it's called. Can't remember, but the when you go to what is it called, Dav's Hope, or one of the abandoned settlements, and there's those data access points. They also make a sound even if you're not scanning them. It's kind of a eerie sound, but it really adds to the atmosphere of the abandoned place, the abandoned settlement. Really? Morse code hidden in biosampling. Well, I need to go back. Now I need to go back, because I've already scanned, I think, all the bios of Sparsites, but now that you say that, you know what, I'm gonna make a note, because otherwise I'll forget. There we go. It's in my notes now, because otherwise I have a terrible memory, and I know I'll forget for sure. A8. A9.
Next body to map is A9.
I think some of the INRA stations did Morse code broadcast at one time, Eagle Eye. That is also probably where I heard it. Ooh, that's interesting about the 3D wireframe ship scan. Wow. No, El Mundo, I agree with you. the the community just discovering these things and doing the the science of the game is so cool. Something I really love. Like a few weeks ago I got into like looking at planetary statistics of Guardian sites, like because I was curious about if they tend to occur in systems of a like particular star age, or if I don't know, particular planet types, body types, if there was any trend that was not known already. I didn't discover anything new, of course, but I mostly rediscovered what was already known. But I really like all the, I guess, sometimes they are kind of Easter eggs that are hidden in this game, or more of the mysterious aspects of the game. It's just really well done. Alright, let's check B1. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a trip, but
Mapping complete.
seems like there's an horizon bio, so that is interesting. Oh, the Thargoid probe. Really? So wait, the Thargoid probe, you mean the ones you sometimes find in the black? Like crashed on a planet? Or was it like a Thargoid probe in a particular system, in a particular place? You really stimulated my curiosity here. Let me see. Here we go. There are some of those up in space that you can scan that still work. Interesting. Watch a recent video as someone approached a probe and pinged it. returns a lot of Morse code and push you out. A bit like the... Wow. That is interesting. That's really interesting. Well, I wrote down a note, so I I will look into that, and if it is something to do in the bubble, then you'll probably see me at some point doing it. In any case, I see ads are coming in soon, and I have a kind of a long trip here, like probably 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm gonna take advantage of both and take a quick break so you don't have to watch advertisements later on. So I'll see you in like 3-4 minutes, just the time to run the ads. Alrighty, everyone should be back. I was watching Cow's stream. I think he's about to gank someone at his spire sites. Oops, wrong button. Yes, packs should be able to reach a 70. Yes, yeah, you can even exceed them. I have a rat ship, a fuel rat ship that is I think 72, 71, 72, can't remember. Oh, I need to adjust the lighting here. Just give me a second. Alright, it should be better. Because lately I've been experimenting with a green screen. The problem is that it's not working that great. So when light changes, like it was a day earlier, now it's dark outside, and the type of light changes, then the green screen thing doesn't work so well anymore. Your aspects reaches 72, yeah, with the pre-engineered FSD, yeah. No, I think it's the regular jump. I don't think it's the max one, but let me check. Where's the specs? Here. No, 71. The one I have is 71 with the pre-engineer FSD. The max jump range is 76. So, yeah. Oh, well, let me reopen. You know, keep in mind my aspects is, well, I tried to make a simple fuel rat build, so it's not necessarily good for exploration. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. But this is my build. It's not necessarily the best build or whatever, but this is what I have. And got left behind your friend's carrier 2 kilo. Decays out of the bubble, try to jump, but uh-oh. Wait, what are you trying to jump with? Have you tried to do this? The fastest jump with, I don't know if you have a fuel scoop to use the jet. You need a scoop. Otherwise you can, yeah, you can try with this. You can also try, if you have the materials, to do the FSD injection right here. So there's 3 different types of injection, but if you have the materials for the big one, you can do it. In this case, I'm running low actually, but because I haven't resupplied the last time. Brain trees. Ooh. Uh-oh. Interesting. We are indeed close to Guardians. I should make sure there are no Guardians here. Yeah, I mean, you know, once I land, I can show you how you can make an aspects for exploration with over 70 light years. I personally don't really like the ship, so that's why I made it a rat ship, which I never used because I never did the rat training. So I am by no means a rat, a fuel rat. Costly to use that tab, yes, it would have helped. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, one way or another, there's always someone out there that can help you, even just jumping a carrier your way. If it is, you know, that close to the bubble, a few thousand light years, it's a fairly quick trip. Different story if you are like 10, 20,000. Alright, let's see if I can find the trees. But again, I should check if there are any Guardian sites that I missed in my FSS scan. Oh? There they are. Oh wow. Crap, high gravity. 1.25, I'm not used to it. It's going a little bit fast. Ow. Is it like a pink one? Punicium brain tree. Interesting. Alright. Let's see the aspects. So this is the link. Oh, wow. So sorry for the white flash. Come on. There you go. So if you get rid of the fuel limpet, I guess you can keep these if you want. This is fine. This is kind of okay. It's a little bit weak though. You may want to put a larger shield generator because 83 for shield strength. I mean, you have to be careful about crashing. You can explode. So you may want to put something larger there, like a 3A or even a prismatic. Don't know how much it would help though. Well, okay, it more than doubles if you want to put a prismatic. It kind of adds to the weight, but you know, you don't really need anything else, I think. Oh no, wait, wrong. You need a DSS. Either the pre-engineered or you get the engineered one, the non-engineered one, and you do the engineering yourself. You can add a shield booster if you want, something like this. You know, heavy duty supercapacitors. But otherwise, this is a decent exploration ship. It's like 10.1 light years of jump range. You know, keep in mind that the FSD is the pre-engineered one. So it's this one where you apply the mass manager to it. And you need the Guardian booster to get to this. But yeah. That's what you can do. Let me see. You feel like the Aspect doesn't have enough slots. It's not that bad, honestly. It could be worse. Could be better, but could also be worse. I think it's kind of average, honestly. Mojo says that personal preference is not to cheap out on thrusters. Yeah, these are 5D with dirty drag. So boost is 500. You can go and with only 2 pips. If you go 4 pips to thrusters, then you can get 378, 514, and not quite the perma boost, but almost. Guess the same with the distro. If you want a larger distro, you can. So FJK says it would run a 4A power plant with armored thermal spread. Yeah, I guess with thermal spread I will lose it. Yeah. Well, you can make it work with a 3A if you want. But yeah. So, I mean, you can make it work. Honestly, though, personally, I wouldn't go with an Aspex. I would go with a crate if you were going medium size. But that is my personal preference. Anyway, let's check this out. Uh-oh. I'm cooking. No, I didn't want to jump. Here. Was cooking live here. Overcharged plus monstered is a surefire way to cook your commander every time you scoop. Oh yeah. Yeah, usually all my exploration ships are for sure armored. Often they are also thermal spread. Let me see, power plant. Yeah, armor thermal spread. It's usually a winning combination for exploration. If we could build our ship visually, like other games, that would be amazing. Oh yeah. Yeah, or even have like an option like, you know, with arcs you can like put different stuff on your ship, you know, add-ons. It would be nice. You know, I'm not saying you need to get arcs to do it, but it would be nice to have a similar option to, you know, have a different cockpit or have a different set of thrusters or something like that. That would be really cool. but oh well. Too much like work. All your ships are stuck. Mine are not. All my ships are engineered one way or another. Come on. All right. I mean, there's people who can probably do a solo Hydra with a stock ship. Like Rosa. Rosa was here. Rosa could probably do it. I can't. But someone like Rosa can probably do it. I've seen her play sometimes and I don't know, it's just beyond amazing. It's nice to run cool when scoping, yes. Also, if you have a enchant for crashing into stars, you can avoid needing heat sinks too. Yeah, I have a tendency to crash on planetary surfaces because I speed. Never used heat sinks. I've used them a few times. Like a few days ago, I had to use one because it was not necessary, but I was cooking up a little bit. Because I accidentally got into the exclusion zone of a star, and when getting away, I was mildly cooking. I mean, nothing dangerous, but something that was happening. All right, let me check the other planets here. Oh no, actually not seeing anything with potential guardian, but yeah, these moons B5A and B1A1. Okay, let's see. B5, B5, where is B5A? Okay. Because sometimes I get distracted and don't really pay too much attention to the locations tab. Okay. Well. Right, no guardians. But interesting that there were brain trees here. Guess I'm getting close. Yeah, 10 jumps. You don't have the patience to do that with a Hydra, but you've done a Medusa. Yeah, see, like, those few times I had to do, you know, fight a Medusa, I had to go back for repairs like 4 times, 5 times, like once per heart, basically, because it was getting absolutely demolished. You know, it's Italian space driving. That's what it is.
Body 2. Meets mapping criteria. Body 1. Meets mapping criteria. System discovery complete. First body to map is 1.
All right. One and two. Oh, that's convenient. Orbiting. Yes, allowed to run cool, very nice, benefits, scooping aside the drop of the radar, which is very handy in some regions. Yes, that too. Or to fight Thargoids. Guardian location should still pop up on EDMC. Oh yes, right. I completely forgot about that. Well, I'm pretty sure there were no Guardians. But you know what? I'll still take a you know, make a bookmark just in case. I mean, this is the right place to find Guardians, right? Did I scan this already? I don't think so. Need to get closer though. Come on. Your son, when he played, did 6 Hydra in the meta shift. I think he's done a few unengineered challenges too. Oh wow. No, those few times I tried to solo an Hydra, I died very quickly. Or just left. Because I was like, no. Not good enough to do this. A Medusa I can handle with a lot of Reapers, but a Hydra by myself, no. Can't do that. But I've done very little Throwaway combat. Just that conversation made me think, how old are you, FJK? You don't have to answer. I'm joking. I love how this community is actually really old ages. It actually tends to be an older community, if anything. I guess maybe this game is a little bit too involved for the very young. if I find ruins. You know what? Let's go back. There. I'm going back. Just in case. You never know. I honestly doubt, but because I was the first one to discover that system. So it's close enough to the other Guardian systems that it can be one. Nope. No, it's not telling me anything. I mean, I checked all of these, and I'm pretty sure I checked these. I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but let me see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it should show up here under locations, right? If I scan them. My son's YouTube video of the Hydra was almost 6 hours. Wow. Had one washroom break and I fed him during. That's amazing. That's great. Okay, so let's check. I'm pretty sure there was nothing. So none. These are too small, I think, but we'll check anyway. None. These are not landable. This is one biome. None. So no guardians. But the guardians are close. After FSS, it should show up instantly on EDMC. Yeah, so where would it show up exactly? Because I have the Canon plugin where I've seen it popping up here. You see the little Guardian relic thing. I'm not sure if you mean the same one or somewhere else, like showing showing the Guardians. Actually, I should keep this because I want to. Rain, trees. Okay, yeah. No, there is nothing there. Okay. You know what, actually? Now that I'm in the good spot, I'm gonna do this. Because I'm exploring, so I really don't care if it takes forever. I don't have any rush whatsoever. There we go. The age question, you have two 90s babies. Okay, alright. Well, I'm from the 80s.
Body C. Fast orbit. Body D. Fast orbit. Closed binary relative to body size.
External apps do not detect Guardian ruins in the Great Hippo area. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I don't know how, but the Canon plugin for EDMC can tell you if there are Guardian sites. I don't know if he builds it afterwards, but if there is a Guardian site, there will be like a little icon here. But I've never discovered a Guardian site, so I can't tell you if it is only for Guardian sites that are already known and processed somehow. Okay, yeah. Oh, nothing. Next. Like, let's see, where is the closest one? Is it far? Oh, actually, we're gonna pass by one, I guess. Third-party apps rely on journal data, and there is no journal anything for undiscovered sites. Okay, good to know. All those systems I went through, who knows now? Yeah. Yes. Yes, I've been wondering the same thing myself. I probably never discovered anything, but who knows? Yes, I wonder if the Canon plugin somehow relies on some kind of internal database that has been processed. Perhaps it works that way. In any case, if I discover the Guardian site, and you know, I can tell you, I'll tell you, yeah, it shows in happy as an icon or not.
Body 3A. Potential Guardian ruined body. Body 3. Meets mapping criteria.
3 was the
System
potential.
discovery complete. First body to map is 3.
Alright, let's go. If I find one before you... Alright. Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. It's probably look at EDSM or EDDB. Yeah, could be. Wait, EDDB is gone, so maybe EDDN? Maybe you mean EDDN. There are a couple of lists out there. You have a name? You found one, FJK? That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, that's one of the greatest desires that I have in this game, finding a Guardian site. I know my chances are next to nothing, but who knows? Maybe next system is gonna be one. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. That's really cool. Yeah, so by the way, I need to interact with you guys because I was reading on the Discord that you needed someone to go through this particular voxel, FSRD5. So that's where my carrier is, but I need to check if that is where some help is actually needed. Because I will need to try out this voxel mapping thing. Alright, is there a next one? Yes, number 4.
Mapping complete.
There we go.
Next body to map is 4.
That said, you snagged a couple of region codexes. Oh, really nice. That's really cool. I've only ever found one, the one when I was streaming actually. A Bacterium Cerberus maroon in, can't even remember which region was it. It was out here somewhere, one of these regions. Maybe this one. Sanguineous Rim. I should check again. And it was around the T-Towery, so that was probably why it was not discovered, because sometimes T-Toweries are ignored. Although they are really cool stars. In fact, they are stars that are starting, just being born, starting fusion for the first few times. Let's see if I can find it. No, I should go in Codex. Wait.
Mapping complete.
No, maybe it was in Achilles. Cerberus maroon. Yeah, Cerberus maroon in Achilles altar. That's the only first codex discovery I've ever made. Got a few hits sometimes with potential new finds, but that one was the only one. It actually worked. By the way, I love the fact that there's so many stars. Look at this, stars everywhere. You have 6, wow. That's impressive. That's bright. Oh yeah. Yeah, last time I checked, there were like some regions have like tens, if not over 100 of potential new codex entries, I think. Although I haven't checked um, in a few months now. Yeah, 40 bodies, and a few of them are 14, not 40. um, but a few of them are high metal content too, which seems to be kind of preferred by the Guardians. Let's see. Oh, your system has 40. I thought this system had 40 because I remember seeing a 4 and it was like, oh yeah. Come on, where's the other gas giant? There we go. Nice and blue.
43. Meets mapping criteria. System discovery complete. First body to map is 3. Mapping complete. Next body to map is 4.
Just realized that journal processor was not on. For some reason I forgot to turn it on tonight. Uh-oh. Hey, thank you Rosa for the follow, really appreciate. Walnuts and like dark chocolate chips, you know, the ones you put in chocolate chip cookies but dark chocolate. That was my snack from earlier, which I'm still working on. But I was trying to spare you the bad ASMR, the anti-ASMR, like the disgusting one. Alright. Let me see. You went to the 173 body system never again. Well, those big systems are always cool. You know what? I want to go here to check one of these out. So I'm gonna make a quick trip here and then go back to economical routing. Wait a second, look at this. Wait. Yeah. Look at these red stars. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. These red stars, they only occur here. That is so odd. But there's one here. But that is so strange. Why are they there only? It's like a cluster of red stars. Oh well, we're going there. For anyone not using a mouse to have a sense, the system sounds like a bad time. Oh yeah, yeah, well, only a mouse and keyboard for me. I tried everything else like a joystick and controller. Neither of them really works for me. I still have the controller, but I sent back, I returned the joystick because I tried to use it a few times for a few hours, but I've always been a mouse and keyboard person, and I'm sure that with a lot more time I could have got, you know, comfortable with it, but it's not really my thing.
Body 5 meets mapping criteria. Body
Okay.
3 sulfur dioxide atmospheric.
I think this one was already discovered, but
may host
yeah,
a marked biological.
we'll do it.
System discovery complete. first body to map is 5.
Decided to scan a map, it took you a week. Wow. Well, 15 millions is actually no, it's actually quite good. Like often those very large systems are not really worth it, like in terms of money, because it's just a bunch of tiny little moons that have nothing on them. So 50 millions is actually a very good deal. But yeah, if it took you one week, then sure. Then maybe it was not worth it. But it depends how long. How long were you playing during that week? But if it was your first, like if it was a first discovery, that may be a record, like 173 bodies. I've never heard of anything like that. The largest I've ever found was like 102, 103. No more. And that system had absolutely nothing. Like, nothing valuable. No bios, nothing to scan with the DSS.
Mapping complete. No more bodies to map.
You're missing your HOTAS right now. Keyboard and mouse, and it's awful. Well, yeah, it really depends on what one is used to, I guess. If you've never used it, then yes, I can see how painful it can be. 173 is the biggest system ever discovered. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. So wait. It was a system that was previously discovered and you went there out of curiosity, or were you the one to discover it? It was already discovered, okay. I don't even know where that is. I've heard of something like that, but don't even know where that is exactly. Same person. This is high metal content. Valuable for sure. Let's see how much. The asteroids kinda sound like a Geiger counter.
Meets mapping criteria.
Mildly valuable. Oh really? I didn't know. That makes sense. Yes. It is, technically speaking, it's logged in your journals, but not as a maximum minimum. So there are tools, I think, that you can use to determine what is your maximum and minimum. Not really sure where to find them, but I've heard of them. Assuming you mean like, you know, maximum size, like maximum number of bodies in a system. There might be something under your commander tab. Let's see. Stats. Oh, I have 27 ships. I didn't know there were so many.
Mapping complete. No more bodies to map.
Exploration. Nope. It doesn't say. Yeah, I know. I don't think it says here. EDSM has some commander stats. Inara. Yeah, Inara is a good idea. You can check on Inara. There's a few different tabs that can give you information there. Alright, next one. Yes, I actually have the plugin you're talking about. I have it, but at least unless I'm using it wrong. Oh no, actually it says, yeah. It only tells me these things. It doesn't say anything else. But I may be using it wrong. I just installed it and never opened it again, actually. Oh, and I see I have ads incoming. So I think I'll check out this system. And then take a break. I did not. Well, I did, but for another plugin. So I didn't did a read all specifically with that plugin on. I think I'll try. I'll do a read all. It's one of those plugins that I installed and then kind of forgot about.
Body 2. Icy ring.
Because I mean, personally, I like those. I like stats, but I don't like them that much to be kind of obsessed with them.
Body 4A. Methane atmospheric landable.
So if it tells me some cool stats, great. Otherwise, I'm probably not gonna check it too often. Still amazing that you're making it though, so thank you. Like the work that this community is putting on third-party tools and the game is amazing. All right. I guess I'm gonna be taking a break right now, so I'll see you in 3-4 minutes so you don't have to watch the ads. Well, you know how it works. Alright, everyone should be back now. Okay, this system didn't have anything, and in the meantime I was doing that read all on the stat scanner plugin, which I think is over, maybe not. Oh, still calculating there. So after this system with the Guardians, I'm probably gonna call it a night because I'm starting to feel a little bit tired. Should make myself a dinner. So here, oh yeah, I guess this is where the Guardian site is. Oh yeah, Guardian 2. That explains it. Uh-oh. Observatory had a had a little bit of a stroke. But yeah, so this is what I'm seeing. You know, this Guardian relic symbol. But I guess this is something that comes after processing, probably. What is the profit needed to reach elite in exobiology? A lot, a few billions. Yeah. Let's see. It is 8 billions, over 8 billions. Yeah, in fact, I'm still Elite 3? No, Elite 4. I'm Elite 4. But so Elite 5 is like, yeah, is like 30 billions. It takes forever. Anyway, you know what? Let's go here to end the night. I didn't want to end too close to the advertisements. The problem is that I couldn't postpone them. It was somehow too late, and I forgot to postpone them. Otherwise, I would have done that. Let's see, because there's also a bunch of cool stuff. Brain trees on 3DA 9BA. So 3DA, which is this guy, right? 1, 2, 3 DA, and then 9BA, which is, wait, kind of lost here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9DA here. No? They forget how to count things. It should be Planet 9. BA, not DA, BA. And possibly a few other things, actually. So you know what? Let's do an FSS. Let's do an FSS. Ooh, helium rich. This is interesting.
Sir, Romulan warbird decloaking directly ahead.
Hello, cow. Helen. Nah, I was the one who wanted to raid you. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Good to see you all. If you don't know me, I am Dr. Nazimo or Nazimo. You pronounce it whatever way you want. I'm a real-life planetary scientist, planetary geologist, because I'm a geologist by formation, and I like to play Elite. So here I am. I ganked you with my raid for... Oh yeah. No, I was during the break. I was starting to look who to raid, who was on, and I saw you, and it was like, oh. I need to raid him. But thank you, really appreciate it. Next time I'll get you. I'll get you with the raid. How was the stream? I was looking at the stream earlier, and you were, I think, about to gank someone at the spire sites. Is that correct? You were like trying to invite someone to come in open. Also, not sure if the no. Let me give you a shout out. I don't think it worked. I'm pretty sure I have a shout out for you, but I may have set it improperly. Maybe I misspelled your nick. There you go. Guys, if you don't know Cow, well, correct that. Go check out his channel. Is a good ganker. And he doesn't do only ganking. In fact, lately you've been mild, Cow. Lots of non-ganking. I'm surprised. Also good PvPer. I was learning about that aspect of the game, which I never tried, and probably will never try in the future. But still, it's good to learn things, how it's done. Ooh, that's a big system. 46 total. And then I'll read the chat again, because I'm sure I missed a ton of messages.
Sulfur dioxide atmospheric landable with life. Body 9D. Ammonia atmospheric.
There's the Guardian. See how I like it that it pops up in yellow, because otherwise I could still miss it if it was just white text. All right. Let me catch up. I'm not in open. Not for exploration. I am actually a doctor. Yes, I am an actual doctor, not the medical kind. I am of the geologic kind, but yes, I'm a doctor. Ships went boom, sometimes other fox. With Torbak, it was you. Great. Well, I'm sorry I missed it. Next time I'll try not to stream, or if I stream, then I'll raid you, so I won't miss it anyway. Didn't see a single Den commander around. I don't know what OYA is. Went back to Shin. Okay, good. Yeah, that's always a good spot. In fact, I think one time I got almost ganked by one of you, because I accidentally left. I was in open and I didn't realize that, and someone pulled me, but I was able to escape on a dolphin, of all things. You are an evil gank now. You're a good ganker. You're a very positive ganker. If you were so buggy in open, we'll probably have more people there. Yeah, I saw the uninstall screen literally 3 hours after the first time I played. I came back 6. Well, no, I mean, probably right here it wouldn't matter. I could play in open. Um, Honestly, getting ganked wouldn't even be the major issue here. Is the issue would be losing all the exploration data that they have. That would be the worst aspect of getting, well, dying out here. And because otherwise I couldn't care less. I mean, if someone wants to come all the way out here to fight me, I mean, sure, why not? Maybe I have done something wrong to someone and they want revenge and they hired an assassin. So I don't know, it could work for me. I don't care. But I would be quite unhappy about losing my exploration data. That's the only thing. That's the dedication of, yeah. Yeah, I'm not that far, but it's like 15-20,000 light years, so you know, either you are here also exploring and you happen to have a good ship to gank me, although it doesn't take much to gank me right now, because the ship is not made out of paper, but almost. I'm sure a few shots and it would blow up. Yeah, actually, I don't even know how far away am I from the bubble. It's like, I'm gonna say 18. Let's see. Oh, actually, let's do this. Oh la la. 13, actually, oh, I'm way closer than I thought I was. 13,000. It's not even that far away. Someone with a few hours to waste could reach me. Thank you, Cow, for the donation. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, and there are guardian sites everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, Cal. See, how can you be an evil ganker when you do things like this? You're betraying yourself. Yeah, there's guardian sites. You know what? Let's land here at this one, and then I can pull up a map of guardian sites if I remember where to find one. Oh, I love this layout. This one is one of my favorite. There's like the footprint of an entire city here. You can see it. Kind of looks like one of those Roman ruins that every once in a while they find, like in Italy when they excavate things. Don't want to land on one though. Oh, landing gear. All right. Let me see. I think it's ED Astro. It has one. Wait, no. Oh. Here. Guardian sites. So there's the ones near the bubble right here. And then there's the one where I am right now. In Grea Yipue. I have no idea how to pronounce this thing. And there's a few here and here near these two nebula. So there's a nebula here, NGC3199. The other one is the Eta Carinae nebula, I think. And then there's a few guardian sites here, and a few more near the galaxy core, and a few here, and a few here. There's many different guardian locations. Oh wow, this is new. I've never seen this one. Never seen this heart. Wow, I love it. My favorite is this one and Free Harry Potter. These two are my favorite hearts. So yeah, there's this one. There's a few guardians. I think it's this nebula right here, or this one here. Can't remember. And then Eta Carinae, this other nebula, and a few other spots here and there. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, what FJK also posted. No, wait, wrong one. Yeah, this is also a good one, because yeah, as it says, the where you find brain trees usually is also where you can find guardian ruins, not necessarily in the same system but nearby. So this is the Great Grea Yipue Big Bubble, which is I think the second largest occurrence of guardian sites after the one in the bubble. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's a cool one. The fact that so many DSSA carriers have decommissioned will never cease to amuse me. Really? There's still quite a lot of them. Like, I've been next to one to refuel tritium actually. The one near one of the guardian sites out here, in fact. Have I seen the pennies drawn on the map? Yes, I have. Yes, yeah. All part of the missed the carrier incident. Alrighty, so I think this is gonna be it for me tonight.